welcome once again to another episode of those thrilling days of yesteryear, our Halloween edition of our 12th season. 12 seasons, holy smokes. And these are, today we celebrate with two very scary episodes of the Inner Sanctum that originally aired back in 1945 and 1949. Now these, I could tell you more, but I really don't want to. That is, I don't want to frighten you. You see, there are trained nurses at the back door with smelling salts and orange juice, should you feel the need. And at the side doors, please be aware there are monsters, so you will not be able to escape that way. They do smell fear, and the doors that are up here, you'd have to get through us, and I wouldn't advise it. It's very messy. So, your best option is just to sit back and relax and imagine that you may be sitting in the studio audience awaiting their favorite performers to do their thing, or maybe just imagine that you are sitting in front of your living room, in front of the old Philco radio, anxiously awaiting for your favorite show, the Inner Sanctum, to begin. So sit up, get tense, be ready to scream, as we take you back to those thrilling days of yesteryear with the Inner Sanctum.
Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup presents Inner Sanctum Mysteries. Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum. This is your host to welcome you through the creaking door for another half hour of lovely chills and shudders. Oh, before we begin tonight, I'd like to give you a word of advice. If you should ever walk through a cemetery at midnight and come face to face with a transparent personality floating above a tombstone, don't be frightened. After all, you can see right through him.
Good gracious. Why do we have to talk about cemeteries?
Because, Mary, our story tonight is about a vampire. Where else would you expect to find one if not in a cemetery? In the Vampire State Building?
Well, suppose you go wait in that closet there and talk to the skeleton, while I have a word with our Lipton listeners about one secret of success. You know, folks, when a Hollywood actress climbs up to stardom, it's usually because there's something different about her personality. And that's true of other success stories. Lipton Tea, for example, is the largest selling brand of tea in the world because it's different from other teas. Lipton's has that wonderful, hearty flavor that tea experts call brisk, which means it's bright and zestful in taste, never wishy-washy or flat. Now, don't take my word for it. Compare Lipton's to other teas yourself. That's the real way to discover Lipton's rich, full flavor. Lipton's extra flavor that brings you all the goodness of a superb tea. It's full-bodied and satisfying, with a smooth, mellow tang that brings you real enjoyment. So pour yourself a cup of Lipton tea, folks, and then see for yourself what a difference that brisk flavor makes.
That's fine, Mary, but quietly, my dear.
Why the whisper, Mr.
Shh! Don't make too much noise or you'll wake the dead. And we don't want to do that because tonight's story is called The Undead. It's an original radio play by Milton Lewis. Yes, and our star tonight is Anne Seymour, who plays the role of Diana.
I was alone, here in the penthouse, sleeping. The doors leading to the terrace were open. Suddenly, I was awakened by a queer whirring noise that sounded like the flapping of wings. I opened my eyes. Moonlight filled the room. It was one of those clear, cloudless nights. But the winds moaned and howled like weeping women. Somewhere a dog howled. I sat up, peered into the green light of the moon. I could see nothing at first. I lay down again. My eyes were half closed, and I heard it again, the sound of wings beating on the air. I told myself it was nothing, until out of the queer green shadows that surrounded me like a mist, I saw a pair of blood-red eyes close to my face. No, they weren't human eyes. They They were rimmed with green, and they glittered like glass in the dark. I looked closer, too frightened to move, too terrified to cry out. The thing that seemed to be flying around my head looked like a bat, but it wasn't a bat. Suddenly, it floated down. I felt soft fur on my neck. Then my throat was pierced with a sharp, terrible pain. I started screaming, "Let me go! Let me go! Richard! Where are you? Richard!"
Go on, Diana.
When I felt your arms around me, I knew I was safe, Richard, but it was the most horrible dream I ever had.
Yes, I know, darling. You were hysterical.
What do you think it meant?
Why, nothing. Nothing, of course, dear. Everyone has nightmares like that sometime or other.
But it was so vivid. I could almost swear it happened just as I told it to you.
Now, Diana, do you really believe you've encountered a vampire?
No, I know it sounds ridiculous, darling.
Listen, baby, you're living in New York City on top of an 18-story building. This is 1945, not the Middle Ages. Why, the whole notion is just rubbish.
You know, I tried to tell myself it was nonsense too, but somehow... Oh, Richard, I want to get out of this place.
But why?
I don't like this apartment. There's something evil, sinister here. I've always felt it. And listen to that wind. The winds howl around here all the time.
Well, naturally. It's a penthouse and it catches the winds from the river.
Do you hear that? Something flapping on the terrace.
That's just the awning.
Oh, there are always queer noises around here, all the time, and I can't bear being alone here at night. Oh, Richard, please don't leave. Let me stay here alone tonight.
I can't stay with you, darling. I've got to go to the theater.
I don't want you to go there. Please, let your understudy take the part tonight. Take me away from here, far away where it's warm and there's sunlight.
Diana, you don't know what you're saying, dear. I can't give up my part in the show.
Oh, of course. Oh, darling, forgive me, please. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I ever mentioned it. You do forgive me, don't you, Richard? Well, say you do.
Why, of course. You're just upset over the silly dream.
No, I know. I won't mention it again.
You're okay, dear. Well, it's 10 to 8. I better get going. Want to come with me?
Yes. No, I'm going to stay here.
But if this place frightens
Oh,
you...
that's just why I'm going to stay, and alone. I'm going to meet this thing, somehow.
That's better, darling. Much better.
Here's your coat.
All right.
And you better take your scarf. It feels chilly. Richard? I said I wouldn't mention it again, but there's one more thing I have to tell you. That the face of that thing in my dream, it was your face.
Diana, in the name of heaven.
I won't talk about it anymore, I promise you, darling. I didn't mean to upset you just before you went to the theater. Just kiss me, dear. I'll be all right.
Diana.
Good night, dear. I'll be waiting when you get back. It was just midnight, 2 nights later. I was waiting for Richard to come home from the theater. I was going through his desk, looking for a postage stamp, when I found something that turned my blood to ice. It was a newspaper clipping dated 10 years ago. A picture of a man, and under it the caption, "Prominent real estate operator, Richard Barker, found dead of a sudden stroke." I looked at the picture again. There could be no doubt of it, it was Richard. I read further. The deceased will be buried at Green Lawn Cemetery after services in the Western Funeral Chapel.
Good evening, Diana.
Richard!
Why, what's the matter? You seem startled.
I didn't hear you come in.
Have you been brooding again?
No, Richard, of course not.
Well, how do you feel tonight?
Not very well.
Weak?
Weak, sleepy, ill.
Well, no wonder. You've hardly been eating a thing. And I know that you never catch a wink of sleep.
I told you, I can't sleep in the daytime as you do. As you do.
Why are you staring at me like that?
Why? Why do you sleep in the daytime?
I've been doing it for years.
Years.
What's so terrible about that? Most theatrical people do. We live and work at night.
Yes, I know.
Really, Diana, what is the matter with you?
Nothing. Do you think I'm losing my mind?
Well, I don't know what to think.
Why are you pretending?
Pretending what?
That you are something other than what you are, because I know what you are, Richard.
Really?
I found out. This clipping I found in your desk, it tells how you died.
That clipping? Oh, that?
Why are you laughing?
Well, you
was sent to the papers. Publicity for a new play, you know, and a drunken typesetter put it in the obituary column. It's quite an amusing story.
I don't believe you. You're lying.
Listen, you can't go on like this.
No, don't touch me.
You're not well, darling.
Take your hands away from me.
I just want to kiss
No,
you.
don't touch me.
Diana, where are you going?
Out of here.
Diana, come back.
I'll come back when I've proved something to myself. Is anyone there?
What do you want, ma'am?
I'm sorry to wake you. You're the caretaker here at Greenlawn.
For many years, ma'am.
I want to see the grave of Richard Barker.
Who are you?
Diana Barker, his wife.
But it's 1 in the morning, Mrs. Barker.
I know what time it is. I want to see the grave.
No one comes at a time like this.
Please, will you tell me when... Perhaps this will help.
$10.
For disturbing you.
All right. You take the bath and back in my house, turn to the right. Have you a flashlight?
I brought one from the car.
It's only a short way, but it isn't a grave, ma'am. It's a sort of tomb.
Thank you. I'll find it.
You want me to come with you?
No, I've troubled you enough. Good night.
Good night.
Somewhere, an owl was howling, as though warning me not to go on with this insane adventure. But I knew I had to continue. I had to be certain. I followed his directions along the path of the cemetery. The moon poked yellow fingers through the scudding clouds as though showing me the way. I was frightened, terrified. I had nothing to fear from the dead. I kept telling myself that to keep my courage. The dead. Perhaps they were right. There was nothing to fear from them. But the undead. There was a tomb. The inscription was clear. Here lies Richard Barker, born May 7th, 1890. Died September 4th, 1935. There was a lock on the door. It was old and rusty. I came this far. I made up my mind. I picked up a stone, smashed the lock. I opened the door. Blackness. Inky blackness, such as one imagines one would see at the end of the world. Turned on the flashlight I took from the car. Coffin was lying in the center of the tomb, on an altar. I felt my heart beating wildly, like the throbbing drum inside me. With a trembling hand, I opened the coffin. I looked down on the ghastly, white satin lining. That was all that was in the coffin. There was nothing else. It was empty. I looked up. There was a face staring at me in the shadows of the tomb. It was Richard!
Diana, I knew you'd come here.
Well, friends, that just goes to show that an empty coffin makes the most noise. You know, this is the kind of nice domestic story I like. The intimate family chronicle of a vampire.
My goodness, is that what you call intimate family life?
Why, of course, Mary. It looks like our lovebirds will even share the same coffin.
Well, I'm afraid you're drawing a very strange picture of family life, Mr. Host. Now, I always picture the family gathered around the dinner table. Everybody's laughing and happy. The bright lights push back the shadows of evening outside and shine on the teacups, where Lipton tea is waiting to add to the family's mealtime pleasure. Lipton's brisk flavor will make that good meal taste even better. Everyone around the table, from junior to grandfather, will enjoy its tempting fragrance, its deep amber color, and that brisk flavor that makes Lipton's different from other teas. They'll all like its full-bodied, hearty goodness and the zestful tang of Lipton's flavor. So serve Lipton tea for dinner at your house, folks, and round out the family picture with real enjoyment.
Right, Mary. And now, let's go back to our horrors. Let me see. What dire predicaments are we in tonight? Oh, yes. Diana has just discovered that her husband was wandering around his tomb. What would you do in a situation like that? Here's what Diana did. Listen.
I ran, blindly stumbling, tearing my clothes. Somehow I managed to reach the car, start the motor. In the car, I knew it wasn't all some dream. People didn't come back from the dead. Did they? Could they? I drove to the city. I wanted to see lights, people, hear music. I wanted to be sure that this was the world I've always known. I tried to think. I tried to reason. I tried to understand what had happened to me. Because I knew something was happening to me. Something that I dreaded. I was becoming like them. Like Richard. I felt a strange craving. Desires that I didn't dare think of.
Excuse me, Mrs. Parker. May I sit with you?
I don't believe I know you.
Perhaps not. Does it make any difference?
No, it doesn't. Please, sit down.
Thank you.
I'm glad you came over. I'm glad to be able to talk to anyone tonight.
I've been watching you for the last 10 minutes.
Have you?
Yes, you look very strange tonight.
How do you know me?
We all know each other.
We?
Yes. You realize you'll be dead soon.
Dead.
At least that's what they call dead.
You know what's happened?
Oh yes, of course. I've seen it happening for weeks. Your face became paler and paler. It will not be long now. You will become one of us.
I don't want to.
Oh, it is not in your hands.
It isn't true. It can't be true.
Oh, it's quite true. Many of us have gone on for hundreds of years. Those who sustain it become like us.
And
There's no escape.
no, I don't believe it.
Don't you feel it? Blood. That strange desire.
Yes.
Yeah, there, you see?
I don't want to.
Oh, I once tried to fight it too, but it's no use.
I'm going away. Far away where he can't reach me. I'm going now. When no one can reach me,
Waiter.
Everything's going to be all right, Diana. Just lie here and rest quietly. You're in your own home.
I opened my eyes and saw Claudia, my older sister. Never was I so glad to see anyone in all my life. Claudia had always helped me, always advised me. She knew what to do.
You want something to eat?
No, I'm not hungry.
But the doctor said you'd have to eat.
How did I get here?
You collapsed in a cocktail lounge. They brought you home.
When?
Last night.
It's dark out.
You've been sleeping almost 24 hours.
Where's Richard?
At the theater. Poor boy, he was so worried about you.
Was he?
Well, he sent for me. I've been with you since last night. Diana, what happened?
It's terribly difficult to explain. I sometimes think I'm losing my mind. I'd be sure that's what it is if I hadn't found out differently.
Well, tell me about it.
I found out Richard is dead. He's been dead for 10 years.
What are you talking about?
It's true, Claudia. I went to Greenlawn. I saw his tomb. I opened it and the coffin was empty.
Diana!
Oh, I know what you're thinking, but I'm not insane. He never sleeps at night. Now I feel these strange cravings and... Oh, Claudia, don't stare at me like that.
Do you know what you're saying?
Yes, I know it sounds wild, fantastic, but I haven't told this to anyone, but it's true. There are things in this world you only think are primitive superstitions, but... Oh, Claudia, you must believe me.
Yes, of course. I believe you, dear.
We must destroy Richard. I read about those things. We must destroy him by driving a wooden stake through his heart. That's the only way that I can escape from him. It's the only way that I can become a human being again.
Diana.
You'll help me, Claudia.
Of course, dear. Haven't I always helped you?
Where are you going?
Just to fix you something to eat.
No, you're going to leave me. Leave me alone with him. I won't let you do that, Claudia.
The gun! Where did you get that gun?
I've always had one. Ever since I told Richard I was afraid of this place. You're never going to leave me now alone, Claudia. I'm not going to let you.
No, of course not.
Get away from the door.
If that's what you...
Claudia, come back.
No, you're insane! Ah!
She was gone. Insane. She was so sure I was insane she didn't even give me a chance to explain. I was alone in the house. I felt terribly weak. I wanted to sleep. I wanted to sleep forever and ever. But I finally knew if I laid down and closed my eyes, I'd never open them again. Never open them and see the world as you or I used to. I'd be something else. I looked at the clock. Almost midnight. Richard would be coming back at any minute. I ran to the door, locked it from the inside with a safety bolt. What to do? Please. I ran to the telephone.
Operator,
Hello, operator. Give me the police and hurry, please.
1 moment.
Hurry, will you? This is a matter of life or death. Hello? Are you ringing now?
Police department, Sergeant Kilway talking.
Hello, police. You've got to help me.
Yes, what is it, lady?
My husband is going to do something to me tonight. He's going to make me what he is.
What is that, lady?
He's been dead for 10 years. I saw his empty coffin. Well, that's proof, isn't it? Oh, that's evidence. You always wanted evidence, and there it is. Now, do you understand?
Well, I'm not sure I do, lady. What is your name?
Diana Barker.
Well, all right, now, calm down and tell me where you live.
I live... Oh, you think I'm insane, don't you?
I didn't say that.
You think I'm crazy, just as Claudia does?
So just give the address, lady.
No, what's the use?
Please, lady.
No one believes me. I know I'm not insane. I know it, and yet... What's that? His key in the lock. I can't open it. It's bolted from the inside. He's trying to get in. But he can't. Not with the bolt. I won't open it. I won't. I'll just pretend I don't hear it. I'll cover my ears with my hands and I won't hear it. You got to get in here. If I keep him out until daylight, I'll be safe. Suddenly, the doorbell stopped. I knew he hadn't gone away. I could feel him near me. But he couldn't get in. No, he couldn't get into the penthouse. There's no way he could get in unless he came through the terrace. And there's no way to get into the terrace unless he could fly. Fly. The wind was screaming. When I turned to look at the French doors leading to the terrace, it was impossible. He couldn't. And yet, suddenly the doors burst open. The wind blew through the house like a cyclone, and there, framed in the double doors, stood Richard.
Why didn't you let me in?
How did you get into the terrace?
Never mind. What are you doing with that gun?
Don't come near me, Richard.
Diana.
Go away. Go away. Leave me alone.
Give me that gun.
No.
I'm warning you, Diana. You'd better give it to me.
If you take another step toward me, I'll fire.
Diana! You see?
The bullets. They didn't harm you.
No.
But I didn't miss.
No.
It's empty.
You see? Didn't do any good.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to put an end to this once and for all, Diana.
An end?
And I've prepared for this. I have a knife, you see.
Richard!
Don't be afraid, Diana. You
No.
look quite
No,
down.
don't!
Come here, Diana.
No, Richard, no!
You're making
no.
too much trouble while you're alive.
Help me, somebody! Let go of me! Stop! I saw the knife over my throat. I beat at his chest with the empty pistol. But just before everything became black, I saw 3 flashes of lightning.
Go on, Mrs. Barker.
When I woke up in the hospital, Inspector, I couldn't believe that I was still alive. It seemed like a miracle.
You would have been dead if it wasn't for your sister.
Claudia.
She came back with one of our men. He shot and killed your husband just as he was about to plunge the dagger into you.
But how did he get in?
He came over the adjoining terrace from the penthouse next door, just as your husband did. No, Mrs. Barker, your husband didn't fly.
But the other things, the picture, the tomb, the empty coffin.
All props for an elaborate scheme your husband worked out in order to murder you. Richard Barker is not an uncommon name. He found a man with that name who had died 10 years ago. He removed the body. He got the whole idea from the dream you told him.
But why?
To establish that you were insane,
No.
he planned to murder you and claimed he did it in self-defense to protect himself against an insane woman.
But the gun.
Filled with blanks, he wanted to get your money, Mrs. Barker.
But the way I felt, those strange cravings.
You're suffering from anemia. Your doctor told us that. It's not uncommon for anemia sufferers to feel the way you did.
I still can't believe it. I still feel that he isn't quite dead.
I'll relieve that fear right now. His body's in the other room. I think you should see it. Come this way, Mrs. Barker. There. Raise the lid of the coffin, Charlie.
Yes, Inspector.
What's the matter?
He looks so lifelike. His lips are so red. He looks as though he can move. Get up at any minute.
Nonsense. I assure you, he's quite dead, Mrs. Barker. And I can further assure you that the police department has never encountered one authentic vampire in its history.
You're very reassuring, Inspector. I think I better leave now. Don't bother to see me to the door. Goodbye.
All right, Charlie. Cover him up and have him buried.
Okay, Inspector, Oh.
What is it, Charlie?
Inspector, maybe I'm nuts, but I could swear that I saw him move.
Oh, nonsense. Close the lid. It's getting dark, Charlie. Sun sure goes down quick these winter days. I'm going home. Good night, Charlie.
Well, friends, do you think Richard is really dead? Ah, that's something for you to sleep on tonight. Oh, and by the way, we have a moral for tonight's story. Yes, it's taken from the diary of Miss Delirian Tremens, who once said, "Never marry a vampire. He may turn out to be 500 years old, without a social security number to his name." Now, how can a girl have any fun going around with a guy like that?
Well, Mr. Host, I don't think that's a serious problem. I'm positive that no girl will ever meet a vampire, much less marry one.
Ah, but you can't be sure, Mary. The safest thing is to drive a wooden stake through your husband's heart. Yes, if he dies, then he must be a vampire.
Oh, such foolishness. Well, let's forget all this talk about vampires, because I want to tell the folks about something wonderful that's going to happen next week. Next Tuesday is Christmas, you know, so instead of our usual mystery thriller, Inner Sanctum will bring you a tender and beautiful Christmas play called The Littlest Angel. And our star will be that great and beloved actress, Helen Hayes. So be sure to tune into this station at the regular Inner Sanctum time next week. I promise you, The Littlest Angel, starring Helen Hayes, and brought to you by the makers of Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup, will be the crowning pleasure of your Christmas day.
That sounds great, Mary. Meanwhile, I'm going to be doing my Christmas shopping. Do you know where I can get a nice fur-lined coffin for a cold-blooded friend? Before proceeding to our next fearful fable, here is Pam Turlow to sing a deathless ditty of love. You know, one of those romances with grave consequences.
Stop it! Keep your hands to yourself. I'm gonna sing. Shh, quiet.
My friends feel sorry for me. They call me on the phone. They wonder why they always see me dining out alone. I find it very difficult to make them understand that I've been going steady, but the invisible man. Stop tickling. Now when he takes me dancing, we make a silly pair. To all intents and purposes, I'm dancing with the air. But all that I've been doing since this strange began is dancing cheek to nothing with the invisible man. My mother and my father are getting quite upset. They wonder when they'll meet my fiancé. Now how can I tell them that they've already met the boy they've never seen me with, the one here on my knee? I'm singing later. While necking at the movies, the people pass us by and look upon our actions with a most suspicious eye. I'm holding hands with nothing, and I guess it's quite a sight. It's just a bag of popcorn on the seat to my right. I really can't describe him, and yet I know he's sweet. He's kind of short, or tall, or thin, or wide. Oh, honey, honest, you're cute, yeah. We sure look peculiar when walking down the street. Just me alone with him together, sort of, side by side. Come on, honey, join in, yeah. Now after we are married, we'll raise a family, not so loud. We'll have a dozen children, and some we hope to see. He'll be a faithful husband, for no other woman can ever see what I see in my invisible man. Oh, I'm mad for you, George.
Good evening, friends. This is your host to welcome you through the creaking door into the Inner Sanctum. Come in, come in. Tonight we're inaugurating a quiz. It's a cutthroat session called Take It or Drop Dead. To qualify, just tear off the top of your neighborhood mortician and send to us by hair mail. Now listen to this. Here's our terror tune. You can guess the direct title of our morbid mazurka in one scream or less. Here are the prizes you'll win. A brand new 1949 stainless steel guillotine, just the thing for whittling down your wife's overhead, and a handsome hand-tooled Florentine dagger, a knife without a conscience, and the Take It or Drop Dead grand prize, a free, all-expense-paid murder trial in the court of your choosing.
Tonight's Inner Sanctum mystery, The Deadly Dummy, was written by Ed Adamson and Robert Sloan, and stars Mason Adams in the role of Steve, with Elspeth Eric as Claire.
Well, let's get tonight's shivering shindig, Oh, and by the way, let me warn you, all references to ghosts, living or dead, is anything but coincidental. Ready? All right. This is what happened to a guy named Steve Pearson.
Why do you keep asking me the questions? Why don't you ask Marlon? Ask him, Inspector. He'll tell you everything.
I told you before, Pearson. Marlowe isn't here.
He is. He's in this room, sitting right there in that chair.
That's just a ventriloquist dummy in the chair. You told me yourself that Marlowe is dead.
You don't understand. That dummy is Marlowe. I can prove it to you. That dummy is alive. Real.
All right. So he's alive.
You think I'm crazy?
Go ahead, Pearson. Let's hear the story. All of it from the beginning.
It began when I went to work as Marlowe's assistant. He was billed as the Great Marlowe. The Great Marlowe. His audiences always thought he was a wonder, but they didn't know him like I did. You couldn't please him, no matter how hard you tried. There wasn't a meaner man alive than Fred Marlowe. I would have quit right there in the start if it hadn't been for Claire. I only stayed because of her. Claire. She was warm and wonderful. And she was Marlowe's wife.
Oh, Steve.
Claire, you gotta come away with me.
It wouldn't do any good, Steve. He'd follow us wherever we went. You know him. He'd make our lives
We
miserable.
can't go on this way. How much of this can we stand?
We don't have to go on this way.
What do you mean?
If you really love me...
Claire, we couldn't do a thing like that.
You hate him as much as I do.
But doing a thing like that?
It isn't hard when you really hate, when you really love.
Somebody will find out. They always find out.
Not the way I planned it. Ground glass. He'll drink it.
But how? He'll know.
No, he'll never suspect. It'll be during his act. The part where he drinks the water when the dummy whistles. You handle his props. All you have to do is put the ground glass into the pitcher of water before he goes on.
He'll pour the drink himself.
Yes, after he goes off, you can wash out the pitcher and the glass. There'll be no evidence. You'll do it, Steve?
When?
He's giving his last performance at the Lido on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
It'll be Marlowe's last performance anywhere.
I'm on next. Everything set, Steve?
Yes, Mr. Marlowe, everything is set.
Now make sure there's water in the pitcher. Last night you almost forgot about
It's
that.
in there now. I made doubly sure this time.
All right, Petey, let's go.
Ready, Milo?
Claire,
Yes, Fred?
it's my last performance, dear. Aren't you coming out to watch?
I'll be along in a moment.
I wouldn't want you to miss it. We're going to be really great tonight. Aren't we, Petey?
You said it, Milo. Tonight we're gonna knock 'em dead.
Claire and I stood in the wings while Marlowe went through his act.
Is that so?
It seemed like ages. If you'd ever get to the part we were waiting for.
I'll tell you what I think.
And then finally,
Petey, talking about drinking, I'm a little thirsty myself.
that was the cue. Now he was coming to it.
You sure you won't join me?
Oh, I never touched the stuff. You go right ahead, Marlo. I'll entertain the folks with a number while you dampen your tonsils.
Okay, Petey, you take over.
The water in the glass slowly emptied. A silent scream shook in my throat. Suddenly, I didn't want him to die. Hating a man wasn't enough reason for killing him. I wanted to stop him. The scream on my throat begged for release. Then I felt Claire's hand grip mine. I turned to her. Her smile smothered the cry within me. Her hand tightened and pulled. And we walked away from the stage.
Pearson, the doctor.
I sent your wife for one, Marlowe.
The pain, it feels like there's a fire inside of me.
It won't bother you for long.
Fire, burning, cutting into me. Pearson, I'm dying.
Yes, Marlowe, you're dying.
Pearson, help me.
Nothing can help you now.
I won't die. The doctor will save me. He won't let me.
There won't be any doctor.
What?
Claire didn't go for one.
Claire, she wants me to die. She hates me. You, Claire, you both hate me. You did this to me.
When you drank that water back at the Lido tonight, there was ground glass in it.
No.
Ground glass, so finely powdered you couldn't see or feel it.
Petey.
That dummy can't help you, Marlowe.
Petey, I'm dying. Help me.
What?
Oh, Marlo, you're just a ham at heart.
What?
A real ham. Don't you think so, Steve?
What is this?
Oh, that dread deathbed scene of Marlowe's. Right off the cob.
I thought it was quite good, Petey.
Oh, strictly amateur night. Strictly.
Marlowe, you're all right?
See, Petey, I had Pearson believing
But
it.
it can't be. You drank that water. I saw you.
Yes, I drank that water.
You're all right. It's not possible.
Marlo, you're killing our friend Steve with suspense. Come on, give him a break.
Of course. Here you are, Pearson. Here's your ground glass.
Marlowe had known we were up to something. Somehow he had switched the container of ground glass I had bought. He let me leave his hotel room without another word. I didn't know what to do, what to expect. I waited. 3 days went by. Then he sent for me.
Sit down, Pearson. I'll be with you in a minute.
Marlowe was busy packing a trunk. I sat there waiting. The dummy Petey was propped up on a table, his perpetual grin mocking my fear.
Our friend looks kind of uncomfortable, Marlo.
Really, Petey?
Why did you send for me, Marlowe?
Claire and I are sailing to South America tonight. I suppose you're curious as to what I'm going to do about you.
All right. What are you going to do?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I just wanted to tell you about Claire, Steve. She's poison.
Oh, Petey, you never did like Claire.
Marlo's a sucker for that thing. I guess she never told you that she tried to have Marlo knocked off before. There was because another guy had the job before you. Claire fed him the same
He's
way.
lying, Marlowe.
Why don't you ask her? She'll be back soon.
Claire wants Marlowe's money, but not Marlowe. She was just using you.
Shut up.
She'd give you the go-by so...
Shut up!
You're out of her class. She wouldn't want you in a million...
I'll shut you up. I'll break you into a million pieces.
You're a fool, Pearson. You forget there are other pieces. After all, they're only me, remember? So you see, the only way to shut them up is to stop me, huh?
Marlowe taunted me with insulting laughter. I couldn't stand it. I had to stop him some way. I felt along the table behind me. My hand came across a heavy glass ashtray. I gripped it tightly, then brought it up from behind.
Petey!
He slumped to the floor. The grin was still on his face. I bent down over him. He was breathing. I hit him again. Marlowe was dead.
You shouldn't have done that, Steve.
It was the dummy, talking. I heard him. He lay on the floor where I had crushed him into 100 pieces, but they were his words, his voice.
You can't get away with murder. You'll see, Steve.
Claire, I tell you, that dummy did talk.
Steve, it couldn't be.
But I heard him. He talked to me. He talked to me.
Steve, get a hold of yourself. It's just in your mind, that's all. You shouldn't have done it. If you'd only waited, we'd have found a safe way to lock them. Someone's at the door.
We can't open
We
it.
have to.
His body's on the floor. They'll see it.
Help me.
What are you going to do?
Put it in the trunk. Come on, hurry. All right, now close the top and lock it. You stay here. I'll get the door.
Marlowe's room?
Yes?
I come for the trunk, lady.
There must be some mistake.
Well, that's a trunk, ain't it? That's what I came for.
Mrs. Marlowe said you're mistaken.
Look, mister, I got an order here. C1 trunk, number 3468. That's the number of the tag on this here trunk.
Now, listen.
The order says this trunk goes to stateroom 3D on the Trigania. That's what it says. Trigania sails tonight. Now, do I take this here trunk or don't I?
Yes, I'm sorry. That was our mistake.
But Claire.
Please, take the trunk.
Okay, lady. Okay, lady. Hey, what do you got in here? A dead body?
What? What do you mean by that?
Forget it, mister. It's just a gag. Would one of you open the door?
Yes, I'll do it for you.
Thanks, miss.
Claire, what's wrong with you? Why did you let him take it?
Don't you see, Steve?
See what?
This is the way out for us. The body won't be found here, and we're safe. Now he's gone forever. Nobody will ever know.
No one? What about me?
Claire,
Tell her about me, Steve.
it's him. Now you can believe me.
Steve, what's wrong?
That dummy. You heard him.
It's just your nerves, darling.
No, he spoke.
That's right, Steve. You tell her.
There it is again.
Steve, where are you
I'm
going?
trying to find that dummy. He's somewhere in this room.
Looking for me? Hello, Steve.
The dummy was propped against the closet wall. He looked at me with the same evil grin as the one I had crushed to pieces.
Steve, please stop staring
I'll burn
that
him.
way.
I'll burn every rotten fiber of him. I'll burn him to an ash and he'll never be able to
Steve,
talk again.
believe me, he didn't talk. It's just your imagination.
I'm not crazy. I heard him. So did you. Only you're too afraid to admit it.
He couldn't talk without Marlowe. Marlowe would have to be alive for the dummy to speak.
What? What did you say?
Marlowe would have to be alive. You know that.
Yes. Yes, that's right. What's the matter with me? He would have to be alive.
You see, it's just your imagination.
Then Marlowe isn't dead.
Oh, now, Steve, please.
He wasn't dead when we put him back into that trunk. He just wanted us to think he was.
Steve!
I didn't kill him. He wasn't dead. That's why the dummy talked. Marlowe could do tricks like that. Come on, Claire. We've got to hurry.
No, wait.
Come on,
wait.
we gotta get out of it. We gotta get there fast. Marlowe's stateroom on the boat. He'll be there in the trunk. I've got to make sure he's dead. It's on this deck, Claire.
3D, there it is.
There's the trunk over there in the corner. Give me the key.
Oh, Steve, we shouldn't have come.
I said give me the key!
Don't, Steve, please don't open. He is dead.
Give it to me! I grabbed her purse and took out the key. I unlocked the trunk and pulled up the lid. Marlowe was in there, motionless. When I touched him, he was cold. Marlowe was dead, all right. But there was something else in the trunk with him, at his feet. And the same grin was on his wooden face.
Hello, Steve. I knew you'd come. I was waiting for you.
Claire,
Here, Steve, drink this.
I don't know what happened to me. Everything went black.
You fainted.
You were right. Marlowe is dead. That dummy. I heard him speak.
No, Steve, it's just as I told you. You only heard it in your mind. You didn't really talk.
Claire.
Those things happen. Now it's over, and you'll never hear it again. Can you get up?
Yes. I'm all right now.
We've got to get off this boat before somebody sees us.
I ruined everything.
No, we're still safe. Nobody knows we came here.
You go first. That'll be the best way. I'll follow in a moment.
Yes, I'll meet you on the pier.
All right.
How do you do, Mom?
Don't.
Sorry to give you a jolt. My name's Higgins, Mom. I'm your steward. Just got by so we'd know each other.
Oh.
Time was against us. We were too late in getting out of that stateroom. That steward would remember Claire.
Steve, what are we going to do?
There was only one chance. With Marlowe's body in that trunk, there was only one thing we could do. I had Claire ring for the steward.
Yes, Mom.
Mr. Marlowe and I have decided to cancel our trip.
But,
Would you please have the porter come for our trunk and take it to the pier?
well, I'm sorry, Mrs. Marlowe. That won't be possible.
What? Why
Well,
not?
in the excitement, Mom, you probably didn't notice.
Notice? What are you talking about?
Our departure. We sailed 20 minutes ago.
We'd walked into a trap of our own making. A trap that was snapped closed on us by a dead man. Marlowe was a cold corpse in that trunk, but we were held by his invisible grip.
Steve, there's still a chance we could get out of this.
You mean, if his body isn't found in the trunk?
We'll arrange it so his body will never be found. We'll do it tonight when the deck outside is dark and deserted. You'll see, Steve. We'll really be rid of Marlowe this time. You'll see.
We got our first break. Early in the evening, the storm grew up and grew worse with passing hours. Around 11 o'clock, I made a careful check of the promenade outside the stateroom. It was completely deserted. We supported Marlowe's body between us and carried him toward the darkened space at the end of the deck.
In the morning, I'll report my husband is missing.
Don't ask out loud. Questions.
I'll have all the answers, the way we planned them. Tell them how often he gets up at night, goes for a walk.
And his dizzy spells?
Yes, another of his dizzy spells. That's what must have happened. Another terrible dizzy spell, and he fell overboard. Meantime, Steve, you'll have to hide.
I found a place in one of the
We'll meet
lifeboats.
every night.
Wait.
What is it?
I thought I saw somebody down that way.
I don't see anyone.
It was probably just a shadow. Come on, let's get this over with. You can help me lift you to the rail. All right, now. Push.
Gone, Steve.
Yes, Claire. That's the end of Marlowe. Now we can live. Really live.
Will you kiss me, Steve?
Will I kiss you? Come here.
Oh, Steve.
I beg your pardon.
Oh!
Sorry to interrupt. I'm looking for someone. I thought he might be with you.
There's no one with us.
No, we're alone.
I see. I thought I saw 3 people walk over here.
No.
It's so dark, I must have been mistaken.
Yes, it is dark.
The man I'm looking for is a Mr. Marlowe.
What?
Do you happen to know him?
My name is Marlowe.
Then you're the gentleman I'm looking for. My name is Ralph Kramer, Mr. Marlowe.
Kramer.
Are you all right, Mr. Marlowe?
Yes, I'm fine. Why?
Just wanted to be sure. By the way, I received your letter.
Letter?
Don't you remember?
No, not exactly.
Oh, I can understand. You're a busy man, Mr. Marlowe, but just to refresh your memory, I'm in charge of entertainment here on the boat. I found out last week that you had booked a passage, so I wrote to you asking you to consent to be one of the features in our theatrical tomorrow night.
And I replied,
You were very kind, Mr. Marlowe. You said, yes. I just stopped by to thank you and to say we're all looking forward to your performance tomorrow evening.
Steve, you've got to keep trying. There isn't much time left.
won't work, Claire.
It will, it will. You know Marlowe's act. You've understudied him. You went on for him in Cleveland, remember?
No, but I can't do it now. I can't get it.
It'll come to you, darling. Just now keep trying. Go on, Steve, please. Try again.
All right. Tell me, Petey, don't you and your girlfriend Phoebe ever have a difference of opinion? Sure, Marlowe, but I wouldn't dare tell her about it. Oh, you see, Claire, it's no good.
Oh, you're doing fine.
Don't tell me. I know it's rotten. Tell them I'm not going on.
Steve, it means our lives. You've got to go through with it.
Sure, you can do it, Steve. I'll see you through.
Claire,
What's wrong? What is it?
the dummy just talked, and I didn't do it. He said, "You can do it, Steve. I'll see you through." You heard him, didn't you?
No.
Don't let her kid you, Steve.
There, he said something again. You didn't hear that either.
Oh, now, Steve, don't. You've got to pull yourself together.
That dame can really play angles, can't she, friend?
Yes. Yes, she really can.
Who are you talking to?
You know who I'm talking to. You know all about it.
Go ahead, Steve. You tell her.
You're making that dummy talk, Claire. It was you all the time.
You don't know what you're saying.
You're trying to drive me crazy. That's why you're doing it. I know what Marlowe said about you was true. You were just using me.
No, Steve.
You wanted Marlowe dead. You wanted his money. You were just playing me for a sucker.
Steve, don't look at me
Now
that
I can
way.
see you for the first time. What you really are.
Don't you come near me.
You have that same evil grin as that dummy. Because that's what you are. Something inhuman.
Don't. Stay
Something
away.
mean and vicious and bad.
Steve.
My hands grip your throat. I squeeze tighter and tighter. My nails digging deeper and deeper into the soft flesh. The color slowly drained out of her face. There was a final gasp. And then she stopped moving. She was like a rag doll in my hands. I stood there, holding her lifeless body. Then after a while, I heard a knock on the door.
Mr. Marlowe! Mr. Marlowe, it's Ralph Kramer.
Mr. Kramer, what is it?
The show has started. You're on in 5 minutes.
All right, Kramer. I'll be there.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we take extreme pleasure in presenting the great Marlowe.
I sat there with the dummy on my knee, and I looked out into the sea of faces. All the men had the same face. It was Marlowe's. And the women were Claire. I tried not to look at them.
Come on, Steve.
The dummy whispered to me.
Come on. I told you I'd see you through. Let's go.
Petey, I want you to meet the folks.
Hiya, folks. By the way, Steve.
Fool, it's Marlowe. Marlowe.
Who was that lady I saw you with last night?
Last night, that was no lady. That was
No, you're not gonna tell me it was your wife. 'Cause I know whose wife she was.
Stop it.
Oh, sort of a deadhead, isn't she, Steve?
I told you not to call me Steve. You'll give it away.
I warned you about that dame, remember? I told you she was playing you for a sucker.
Stop talking about her. We've got to get back on the routine.
Ah, the routine, yeah. That's what she gave you.
I said cut it out.
Cut it out? Hey, with the ground glass, huh?
Now stop. So help me, I'll choke you.
Well, how do you like this guy, folks? He wants to choke me and cut his best part.
I'm warning you. Just one more wrong word.
This'll kill you, folks. Wait till you hear the story I'm gonna tell you. And it's no joke. You think this is Marlowe here, huh?
Don't listen to him. He's lying.
You can't stop me now. It's too late, Steve.
Don't listen to him. Please. He doesn't know what he's saying. He's going to tell you lies. He's going to tell you I'm a murderer. That's the whole story of what happened. It was all because of that dummy over there on that chair.
You give us a lawyer's name and we'll call him.
I don't think a lawyer would do me much good now.
That's up to you, Pearson.
I'll think it over.
Okay, Charlie, take him downstairs.
I don't suppose you'll leave me, Inspector?
Just one question, Kramer.
What is that?
What you hear the dummy say the night he tried to go through with Marlowe's act?
Oh, the dummy didn't say a word. Pearson was up on the stage, talking to himself.
Well, that closes tonight's cadaverous chapter. Poor Steve Pearson. He just couldn't help talking himself into a knot, the kind the hangman ties. Now he's in a grave condition, but it's his own fault, you know. His dummy done told him. You know, the real reason he killed Claire is because he figured 2 deadheads are better than 1. Oh well, all's well that ends dreary. Yes, as we say here in Inner Sanctum, the end always justifies the screams. Until next Wednesday then, good night, pleasant dreams.
Beautiful time here today. And we also want to remind you that we are well into our 12th season of doing these shows here at the Oak Park Arms. Our next show will be a wonderful Christmas spectacular with 2 wonderful dramas celebrating the Christmas holiday entitled You Can't Stop Christmas. And that will take place on Sunday, December 22nd, just before Christmas time. So we hope to see you here Sunday, December 22nd at 2 o'clock for our Christmas holiday special. You can get more information and learn more about our past shows and upcoming shows at our website, TTDYradio.com. And now, the denizens of the Inner Sanctum. Ken Ball as Mr. Host and Mr. Higgins. Marty Dean as the Great Marlowe and Charlie. Valerie Golinski as Mary and Claudia. Margie Gustafson as Claire Marlowe and the operator. Randy Nunn as the caretaker and Steve Pearson. Sean Ogren as Richard and Kramer and the announcer. Julie Rogers Baker as Diana. Pam Turlo and the girl singer. Oh, Pam Turlo, the girl singer. And Aaron Wilkinson as the inspector. Also, what radio show would be complete without the synchronous soundtrack stylings of Julie Rogers Baker and Pam Turlo? And also the magnificent musical magic of Peter Storms on the keyboard. Also the sociable vampire, and Petey the deadly dummy, Ben Dooley. And on behalf of the entire cast, we'd like to thank you, the audience, for helping our show come alive, and for once again living those thrilling days of yesteryear so that we could bring them back to you. Come and see us on December 22nd, and until then, pleasant dreams.